Hi everybody and big welcome to cEDh TV gameplay. Once again, me and Pontus going up against Mimo.
Hi guys, happy to be back.
And Simon.
I'm also glad to be here on the show again. I really enjoyed the last time, so thank you for having me.
So I brought my Tymna Rector Breaker list, pretty basic Bloodpod stuff. Try to bring one of the Rectors into play, either the Academy Rector or the Marina Rector, them to find Kiki Chiki or Vivian on the hunt to combo off.
Yeah, my friend Connor made top 4 this weekend in Pond City with Ikra Dargo, his baby, and something I played in the MLC. So I thought, let's try his list and see if I can perform on it, which I didn't earlier. But it's just like, it's this kind of the core Dargo Gobber.
Yeah, I'm back with ARrden Tymna Stoneblade list using the equipment ability from ARrden to provide some value, and the standard, I guess, Orzhov win cons with Walking Ballista and Heliod to close the game, and a lot of draw due to Tymna.
So Sisay just made top 4 on Eminence, Pond City, and I got a little bit inspired and I wanted to play Sisay again, haven't done that in a while. I made some updates, this is a different kind of build, a little bit more artifact heavy, a little more turbo heavy. I'm actually testing out Ursa and the Gruul version Miria as well. And with that, let's take a look at some opening hands. So first 7 is actually keepable, but it's not good. It's like we have a Promox, Lotus Petal into a Signet, and then we have a 2-mana. We can do better. It's like a keepable hand, but it's like doesn't really. I kind of want to have a land at the very least. This is better. We don't have the mana to cast Elemir's Call because we are lacking a green or white source. We could have otherwise gotten our Dockside into our hand. We don't really have a way of getting, like, we have an Enlightened Tutor that we could get a Heuristic Study with, but we don't have a free mana on turn 2. That would have been great. Heuristic Study consistently turn 2 here, but we're lacking that mana, so we're gonna mulligan this one. This is great. We have a Dork into Mox Amber, follow up on turn to Kinnan with Mox Amber and Dork, and I think we're gonna pitch that one to the bottom, because if someone puts a Dockside into play and accidentally pass turn, then we basically win the game here. But its hand is great. I love it.
This deck only runs with 6 lands. What is this? The worst hand I've seen. We do have like some play here. We can almost grind to Razaketh with this hand, but that's not really what we want to do. For searching up the Dockside doesn't really do anything here. What's with all the lands? If the pair was a Nos, maybe this works out. But no, I don't really have any way to play this game with this hand. This hand is very powerful. Turn 1 Dork, we have Something Swarm for interaction. We have Dockside to do Dockside things. We have a Sacrifice to make a bunch of mana. We have Protection. This is a 6/6, so we never have all of these things together. The problem is, our deck doesn't do anything without a payoff in hand. We could keep a Sacrifice and hope to join to something. That's not the worst thing I've ever heard of. The payoff density in this deck is really high, but I'm not really sure I want to take that risk, honestly. We're not really in a fast pod. We have Mons on a Staxel list. We have Simon on a kind of Staxel list, I assume. Mimo on like a semi mid-range build. Like, we're not getting wheeled. We don't really have the fear and heuristics and stuff just from Mons, so we're not getting out-grinded that bad. But since we're not ever getting wheeled, I don't think I might keep this hand. Like, this hand has a really high ceiling, but it's a really low floor as well, because like ramping out the Dargo and ikra, kind of funny. It doesn't do a lot. So go to 5. So 5 lands, 4 lands, 2 lands, and now 0 lands. That's how it goes. If we had a land would kind of save this hand, 2 lands would be kind of cracked. This hand is keepable, banking on top taking a land. I don't think that's where we really want to be, because the payoff for keeping 1 lander would be turn 1 Wishclaw into a turn 2. If it's a fetch land, it's a turn 2 Dockside, probably into a Necro, almost guaranteed. That's banking on drawing a fetch land and reload cards to begin with. I think I'd rather go to 4 than take this risk. This 4 isn't great. Mons and Simon, I assume, aren't that inclined to wheel, so this Wheel of Misfortune probably doesn't hurt us that much, but it might hurt us more than we're comfortable with. But just going land into Dork, into Signet, into Wheel, yeah, I'm keeping this hand. Go ahead, Simon.
We have a Heliod, we have a Walking Ballista. You could tend to hold this hand, but we are on the 3rd spot, so there's really nothing we can do. We could play a Plains and go for the Deafening Silence, hope that this will eventually win us the game, but I think it's just too slow. There's nothing we can do and we don't have enough mana to pull this whole thing off. There's no way to cast our commander ARrden or Tymna in a fast way. So even though we have our win con on our hand, this is not a hand we would like to see. So we go down to our second 7, where we find some more interesting cards, I would say. We got a Skull Clamp with ARrden, that's a free draw 2. We got a Mox Diamond. You can say Mox Diamond into Soul Ring, into Dowsing Dagger, into next turn ARrden. That will be a lot of mana. We have to animate that. That's, I guess, a lot of draw, but even though it's a lot of draw, there's nothing, no tutor, no really way to interact with our opponents, like a Deafening Silence or something like that. So even though we have a lot of mana and a lot of good equipment, you probably won't keep this hand, or is it that good because of we get Tymna out really fast? Net draw 2 hopefully, so we will keep this hand just because of the pure mana value we got over here. Not an optimal hand, but it's good enough for us to keep it, so yeah, I'ma keep this.
No lands, but some tutors, but obviously no land and early stacks piece with a decisive game plan. Okay, that's not too bad. This is a turn 2 Dockside plus X, so we could go either Dork. If there's a Mystic Remora, we probably just play the Elves, pass, upkeep, either Worldly Tutor or Vampiric Tutor, or we just say land pass, play a Vampiric Tutor in the end step for Dockside, and then hopefully we are able to play the Tymna or play the Demonic Tutor for a devastating stacks piece like a Rule of Law effect, Ranger Captain, or a Collector Oath. That's a good second 7. We will keep that.
Let's play Magic. Draw a card for turn. That made this hand really good. I'm gonna play this Taiga as a land drop. I'm gonna cast this Mox Diamond, pitching this Polluted Delta. Tap both. And I'm gonna play this Kinnan, Founder Prodigy. Yeah. I'm gonna play this Mox Amber. I'm gonna tap it for double green. I'm gonna put a land or elf into play and pass the turn.
I've seen that before.
Oh, I have one card in my hand. If you want a wheel, I am up for it.
I'm not wheeling now. Bloodsinmire, fetch, finding a Taiga, tap it for a Elves of Deep Shadow, then cast a LED, and then I'll pass the turn.
Let's move to my turn. Draw a card. Also play a Mox Diamond, discarding a Gemstone Caverns. I will also have a Verdant Catacombs enter the battlefield. I would like to cast a Soul Ring. With the Soul Ring, I would like to cast the Arcane Signet. With the Arcane Signet, I would like to cast a Skull Clamp.
Could we chill?
That's all I have.
My initial plan was to cast the Elves and then Vamp Tutor in the upkeep. What Pontus talked about, maybe wheeling, but not wheeling right now because Mons played the whole hand. Now I'm a little bit scared of Pontus wheeling at turn 2, especially after playing the LED. And we really want the Dockside. I think we can't afford to just play the Elves and lose the Vamp Tutor, Emic Tutor, and a stacks piece. I think we just play Badlands and hope that our Vamp Tutor resolves for a Dockside, and we either get a Dockside with 6 other impactful cards, or we get to cast Demonic Tutor, Tymna, Rule of Law, whatever we will need on turn 2. I will play a Badland, and then I will pass my turn.
Draw a card. So, we don't have a CC activation, and I think I'm gonna be on the receiving end of those Skull Clamps. So, we are going to activate Kinnan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Reveal to class because that's more fun. 1, 2, we actually could whiff. So I do get a hit. That's gonna be Skull Clamped pretty soon, but why not put it into play anyway? Here is a Bird of Paradise. Pontus, Kinnan coming your way.
No blocks, take 2.
And then I pass turn.
I will move to my turn. I'll play this Forbidden Orchard. So we're in a kind of interesting spot here. We really don't want to wheel. We sort of have to. There's no world where we don't wheel and win the game probably. But Mons and Simon will be very well positioned post-wheel. I don't like that either, but I think that's my only chance to actually make you winning. But the interesting part is it's a Wheel of Misfortune. I would think both Simon and Mons pays quite a lot. So I'm just going to pre-call it, unless this gets countered, I don't think it will. Just choose 10, because that feels like a good choice. It's high enough that it's probably not the lowest, but it might be the highest. But I really need this wheel. And cracking LED in response will make them want to pay more to punish me. Lose a life and give Mons a spirit. You're not on Tymna, you do have a Cradle, which is awkward, but you already have a lot of mana. I'll use these 3 mana to cast this Wheel of Misfortune, holding priority and cracking this LED in response for 3 red. Wheel of Misfortune resolves. So everyone reveal on 3. 1, 2, 3. 11.
15. I thought people were gonna
I was
wheel.
right about it being high. So Wheel of Misfortune reads, the person who shows the highest number wheels and take that much damage. So Mons will take 15 and wheel. The person who shows the lowest will take no damage and not wheel. So Memo will not wheel. And the people in between take no damage and wheel. So me and Simon will both wheel. I would like to use 2 of my red floating to cast this breach.
They have to pass.
I'm passing on the Underworld Bridge.
I am passing too.
Save us.
Underworld Breach resolves. Cast this LED, exiling my whole graveyard, which is 2 lands and a Wheel of Misfortune.
Yes, I don't like where this
I
is going.
pass.
I pass.
Me neither.
I mean, the grave is too small though. Like it needs more build up.
I have problems. I will exile this Elvish Spirit Guide for a green. I will then crack my LED for 3 black. So I have 1 red, 1 green, 3 black floating. Discarding this Sacrifice, this Dualcast Mage, this Culling Ritual, this Eldritch Evolution, and this Dark Wits.
Oh, you have mana for the cooling ritual too.
Reset. Someone wants to reset the board.
Oh man, everything I worked for. Oh man. I see the Culling
Do it,
Ritual.
Pontus. Do it, Pontus. Push the reset button.
Would I? Yes, I would. I'm casting the Culling Ritual from graveyard.
Yeah, there we go.
Exiling Dark Writ, exiling Sacrifice, and I guess the Dualcaster Mage. Culling Ritual on stack.
I have no response, guys.
Me neither. I'm actually super happy to see that. Thank you, Pontus.
Culling Ritual resolves. 2, 6. How much from you, Mons?
Pontus, did you actually
Yes.
strategize giving me this token with the Forbidden Orchard just for the extra? I don't think you did, right?
No. I'm hellbent, so it doesn't really matter how much I get, because I can still just cast this Dargo and cast this Ikra for the mana. And that's my turn 2. Pass turn.
With my 1 Catacombs.
We put a Vampiric Tutor on this deck, so I don't get op-agent by you. Okay, so we wanted to get a very fat Dockside, but Pontus blew up the whole board, which is reasonable, and I'm actually kind of happy because Skull Clamp and all the other acceleration the others had were quite threatening. So I think we can be greedy here. So we have 2 lines. We just grab the Collector Oof, play the land, play the Oof, hurt Mons and Simon quite a bit. Pontus is hellbent, but he's threatening a lot of damage, so I don't feel like a single Collector Oof does really help us. I'm more inclined to just grab a Mana Crypt, play the land, play a turn 2 Tymna, hope that we draw at least 1 card on turn 3. With the Worldly Tutor and the Demonic Tutor, we can hopefully either find a combo piece or another stacks piece or a removal spell for Dargo. I will lose 2 life. Put this on top of my library, put this in the graveyard, and then I will pass on your fetch land.
The Scrabbleland. Draw a card. Just a Jeweled Lotus. And I would like to crack the Jeweled Lotus for 3 whites to cast my commander, Arden. Then I will have a land enter the battlefield. Seraphic Greatsword. It's giving +2/+2, and if I attack the player with the highest life total, I will get a 4/4 angel attacking.
You're the highest player life total.
Yeah, it's just to get my attack through.
Also not for long with the Ikra in play.
Yeah, I will move to combat and will have Arden trigger and will have a Seraphic Greatsword on my Arden, so it's a 4/4 now. Pass my turn.
Draw a card. Lock in a Temple Garden, and I will then cast a mana. Cast my commander, Tymna. Go ahead and pass the turn.
Where did my board state go? Draw a card. Really? Could have won! Oh, I'm gonna reveal it. I drew this, not a joke.
Oh no! So close to greatness.
Windswept Heath, sacrifice that thing, finding a Bayou, tapping that, casting a Deathrite Shaman, and then I cast a Ragavan. I pass.
Yeah, so my board says one thing, and that's move to combat. I would like to swing a 7/5 Trampler at the person who got the least setback by my last turn. So Memo, would you like to take 7? And then I also have a 3/3 Menacer. And the question is, do I punish the one? I don't think Mons is the
Wait, you
one
could
who
actually
got
hold that
the
one
most
back
back.
just to keep blockers for that creature because you're gonna be at high life total and prevent those angels.
But I can also gain 7.
Yeah, but angels, like eventually...
Wait. Oh, alright, Arden isn't actually flying, he just looks flying.
Yeah.
I can block Ragavan, sure, I can hold it back. 7th Memo. I'll gain 5 life. Then, in post-combat main phase, I would like to tap a green to cast the Birds of Paradise. Pass my turn.
Untap a Bloodstained Maya enter the battlefield. Lose 1 life and fetch. And find myself a Godless Shrine. Sword of Feast and Famine. I would like to move to combat and will have a Aden trigger. He is now a 6/6 with protection from black and green. And I would like to attack Pontus with my Aden. Because I'm attacking the player with the highest life total, I will get a 4/4 Angel attacking. Aden is connecting, I will also untap all my lands, and Pontus will discard a card, but he's hellbent, so that won't happen, I guess. And because of the protection from black and green, he's unblockable.
Well, I have no blocks. I take 10.
Untap my lands, will just cast Tymna. Pass my turn.
I will take 3 damage from the Mana Crypt. I will draw a card. So we drew the Protean Hulk. That's what happens occasionally. I'm really not happy about what's happening right now. We are getting smacked by Dargo. Arrden is also drawing cards, having protection. Oh, it will at least will be drawing cards. I'm not even sure if Tymna will connect. Let's see. I think we're still attacking once. I don't think he blocks with Ragavan. He might though. I think we hope that he doesn't. I don't see any stacks piece getting us out of this dilemma here. Casting the Rule of Law will just draw hate. I am more inclined to just try to go for a quick combo win, especially after drawing the Protean Hulk. I'm inclined to maybe drop the survival and hope to discard the Hulk, find the Dockside into Karmic Guide, stuff like that. So yeah, let's move to combat and see where it gets us. I will move to combat and swing Tymna over at Mons.
Are you going to put creatures into play? So I can block with my... I don't have any Ragavan attackers besides you, unless you put a creature into play. So honestly, I kind of gladly trade Ragavan with you. But if...
I don't know if I play a creature, but I will let you hit me with Ragavan.
Sure.
Because I think both of us are struggling right now, right? So we need to find answers.
I can take 2 damage for you to get a card, and you take 2 to give me a treasure.
So I will gain 2 life, pay 1 life to draw a single card. I will play a Bloodstained Maya, crack it, lose a life, and search for a tiger. Tap this for 2 colorless, Survival of the Fittest, Demonic Tutor. This will grab a Swords to Plowshare, most likely for Dargo or for Arrden.
In that case, I let you have your Demonic Tutor here.
Both of you are kind of pressuring with your creatures, so I will reveal a secret card, which I promised to get, put it into my hand, will pass my turn afterwards.
I'm gonna untap, but before we draw, we have an Enlightening Tutor. And we do have enough mana to cast Enlightening Tutor and find Smothering Tide. With Smothering Tide and Sisay, we can absolutely take over the game really fast here, especially considering the bunch of Tymnas in play that are drawing cards. So we're setting us up for a really good position with a Smothering Tide here. We also have a Ursa in our hand that can be very fun with a Smothering Tide. We could find the Rhystic Study, but they aren't really casting that many spells, and mana is much better with CC in general. Also with Ursa it's quite amazing. Tap this for a white mana and cast an Enlightening Tutor. Enlightening Tutor resolves, and I'm finding Smothering Tide. And then I would like to draw Smothering Tide for turn. I'm gonna play this Flooded Strand, sacrifice the Flooded Strand, finding a Tundra, combat, swinging this monkey at Mimo. Actually, wait a minute. I just realized monkey might be good for a blocker. There is a bunch of Ardens here. So we're gonna exile this Simian Spirit Guide to reach the 4 mana needed for a Smothering Tide. And then I'm going to pass the turn, keeping Ragavan as a blocker. Go for it.
Goes my turn. I will not pay for Smothering Tide for my drop. You can make it treasure mons. I will attack Simon for 10.
I will take 10, I guess.
Gain 12 life. Post-combat phase, I would like to pay 2 mana to cast this Demonic Tutor.
I'm gonna pass on the Demonic Tutor here.
So the card I'm finding here is Noxious Survival. Noxious Survival has a bunch of purposes in this board state. Hopefully I can convince Simon not to attack me. I don't think I can win with my last arguments. I need to make a better call. Because Noxious Survival does interact with Mamo if Mamo tries to win. Funnily enough, the Rectors need to be in the graveyard to be exiled with their trigger. So if you remove them from the graveyard in response, they don't activate. So Noxious Rival protects us from Mamo. Mamo might have a better line. If it does, then I might just die. But we also have the chance of Noxious Rivaling our Breach. We should be able to breach into DT, into Altar of Dementia, into stuff. I think this is the best card we can find in our seat though. And let's see if I convince Simon to not attack me, but that's a hard sell. I'm gonna pass the turn and hopefully we can keep this in hand.
Draw a card. I'm not paying for the Smothering Tithe. We have a little bit of a problem here. Memo has Swords to Plowshares, so with the Swords to Plowshares, he will most likely kill one of our 2 commanders. We could most likely draw 3 cards if we attack Memo with Tymna, Mons with the Angel, and Pontus with the Arrden. That would net us 3 cards, which will eventually net Mons 3 treasure tokens. So I don't know if that's the play. Most likely I will just play the Mana Confluence to cast my own Smothering Tithe, so we will have a little bit of mana there. That's probably what I will do. I would like to play Mana Confluence, and I would like to lose 1 life due to the Mana Confluence and cast my own Smothering Tithe. Pass my turn.
In your end step, I will tap the Temple Garden to cast a Worldly Tutor.
I think we absolutely have to answer this or we'll lose, so I think I have to do this. I'm going Hellbent, pitching Survival of the Fittest together with a Worldly Tutor means you probably have the win here.
Then I will move to my turn. I will take 3 damage off of the Mana Crypt. Draw a card. You can both have your treasures. I will activate my Survival of the Fittest and discard Elves of Deep Shadow. Find our favorite goblin. I will cast a Dockside Extortionist floating 1 colorless.
Would like to crack my treasure for a white.
I will sacrifice all of my treasures.
Dockside ATB, I will create 4 treasures. I will activate Survival of the Fittest and I will discard a Protean Hulk. I will tutor a Felidar Guardian. I will use my colorless, a white and 2 treasures to cast a Felidar Guardian. ETB, I will flicker my Dockside. It will leave and come back. Dockside ETB, go up to 6 treasures. I will use 1 treasure to activate Survival of the Fittest 1 last time, discarding a Eidolon of Rhetoric. I will find Kiki-Jiki Mirror Breaker, and I will use my last 5 treasures to cast Kiki-Jiki. Kiki-Jiki resolves because it has haste. I will activate it, target Felidar Guardian to make a copy of it.
Yeah, no response.
I will make a copy of Felidar Guardian, ETB, flicker, Kiki-Jiki. Kiki-Jiki comes back, and I can tap it again to make another copy. I would like to present of infinite, hasty Felidar Guardians. So after presenting loop, I have infinite Felidar Guardians. I will pick a number, 69,420. I would like to move to combat and kill every one of you. GG.
We had an amazing start. We were going to have Ursa and Smothering Tithe. They're just too much. Cooling Ritual and other things we have to deal with.
Yeah, sadly it was 1 mana or I think 1 card in graveyard away from having Razaketh lines turn 2. But just passing with Razaketh there isn't very good. So, and my opponents had very good board states, so that Calling Rite probably was necessary. Feels a bit bad not doing anything else, but the Nox Rival was almost clutch. It was a good try, good game.
The Culling Ritual cut us off a little bit, what set us back really bad, so yeah.
Yeah, we got again another W for the Rector Breaker list. Yeah, we got really lucky in the end. It turned out to be spot on. We needed drew everything we needed, found the right tutors, and we played around the Noxious Rival apparently. We didn't know it was there, so anyways, GG guys.